This next talk is about the startup mindset. And we're very proud to have here a very unique individual. Peter Halacsy has built several companies. In particular, he's co-founder of Prezi, that he started from zero and grew into a company all over the world with 274 employees. He's also built several social organizations. And right now, he's actually building a school. He's already got over 100 students. He's going to talk to us about what makes a startup mindset. Please join me in welcoming Peter Halacsy.
I recognize that in the beginning of the talks, people are coming and going, and the room is half empty. So I take this time to talk about my personal story, the big secret of my life. When I was 14, I was a talented, young, hip child. I was the one who always organized something in the school. I was always a leader in the middle of the class. I was the leader of the student committee. Basically, I was smart, sharp, a leader, a natural leader. I always had good grades at university. I'm not a drop-off student. I have good grades. But I never had to do anything uncomfortable in my life because things just went well. I never had big effort. My brother always told me to having a good grades with big effort and learning a lot is not a cool thing. Having good grades without investing time in learning is the cool. That means that you are smart. I always had one direction in my life, and I married at 24. As I said, I was smart, I was sharp, I was younger. I was a successful 20-year-old man who managed to marry. At 25, my later PhD advisor asked me, Peter, what are you really good at it? What are you really good at it? I still remember the question because I couldn't answer. I didn't know what I'm really good at it because I never did anything, never practiced anything. Things just went well. This is what I call the tragedy of talented people. I learned this from a Go player, that at the beginning you start learning, you enjoy playing Go, and you are just good. You are better every day. But at a point, every new Go player arrives to that inflection point when your performance starts to drop. Why? Because you never face difficulties. At this point, you have two options, and on a startup conference, people know this. One is you say, okay, Go is not for me, marriage is not for me. The other is you stretch yourself. Stretch out of your comfort zone. Always people say that step out your comfort zone. But you have to stretch. It's not easy. So I divorced at 25. It was not my idea. I call this a slightly crazy idea, my first useful idea in my life. Crazy, it means that people say, really? Slightly, that okay, I don't make jokes about very crazy ideas in a marriage. Crazy, or slightly that because people still understand. I left a cool job. I used to have a cool job that time. But basically, I was lost. This is not a big event because I don't see the people, so I can tell that was the time when I went to therapy first. Practicing growth starts with a slightly crazy idea, and Prezi is just one of them. I guess you heard about Prezi. This is the presentation tool behind me. And that was a slightly crazy idea. In 2007, I'm a computer science researcher. That's not the cool job what I left. I almost have a PhD. I worked as a social science department as an engineer. This is how cool a computer science researcher is. Look at this design. This is my website from 2007. A lot of publications, nobody read. I met a guy, Adam, who used to be an architect, educated as an architect, but he never built anything useful in his life because he was an artist. A media artist builds things like this, but his idea was to give a presentation. Instead of using PowerPoint, he draws the presentation and zooms in and zooms out. As a media artist, you don't use PowerPoint. That's not a cool thing. You create your presentation. You build your presentation. I was invited to talk about how Google disrupts advertising market. In 2007, as I said, I was smart. And I created this presentation. I emailed Adam, hey Adam, what is the cool tool you are always using? I want to use the same one. And he said, hey, I don't have any tool to use. I'm coding, I'm drawing, I'm creating always my presentation. This is my first ever Prezi in my life. It's not design heavy. And then we met the third founder, Adam, Peter, who, here is a secret. He didn't like presentation at that time. He said that just give a good story and you don't need a visual behind you. Okay, so we are in 2008, 2007, financial crisis. These three people, the useless university researcher, the useless architect, and some business someone who doesn't really believe in presentation, come together and say from Budapest, from Hungary, with this accent, we go after Microsoft, Google, and Apple, and we will change how people share ideas. Do you know what my mom said? Crazy. It's like this. This is from 2009. I don't know who ever tried this, parachuting. And at this point, step out your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone. But here is the thing with stepping out of your comfort zone. Do you know what happens when you are 3,000 meters high with a small airplane like this? Your body says, no! Here, your fear. You know that people usually survive, usually. But everything says no. It's easy to step. Stepping is easy. I can do it. I can even do it here. I can step! The hardest is to make the decision, right? It's okay. First, you have to accept your fears. It's easy to say on a startup conference that take risk. And we don't talk about the emotion that taking risk is naturally hard. Nobody wants. Even the startup funders hate risks. VCs hate more. What is the science? Carol Dweck, university professor from Stanford, California, made a very interesting research experience. This is social science for startuppers. I explain this as A/B testing with people, real people. And we ask people to solve a puzzle. And we only change one minor thing. With group A, we say, when they solve the puzzle, that you must be smart at this. With group B, we say, you must try it really hard. Can you sense the difference? You must be good. You tried hard. Here, I appreciate your personality, your identity. You are smart. here. I appreciate your effort, your behavior, what you are doing. I change only one sentence in how I give positive feedback. And I don't talk about how negative feedback I can give you, that you guys from the South, you cannot solve problems and things like that. I'm talking about positive feedback. You are smart. We develop the so-called fixed mindset, we develop the so-called growth mindset, and then we ask people, do you want to take a easier or harder challenge? What happens? They take the easy one, they take the hard one. Why? Because of the fear. If my identity that I'm smart, I don't want to fail. If my identity that I'm trying hard, failure is not a problem, because doing is what is appreciated. Harder challenge, poor performance, high performance. Back to the original problem, performance drops. Do you remember the Go players? Tragedy of talented people. If you think you are smart, if you think you are talented, if you think you are a serial entrepreneur and you can do it, you will have a lower performance, according to science. And this is what I really like, accepting the situation. We ask people, how was their performance in the beginning? And do you know what happens? They lie. Because accepting that you are not good at something is accepting that you are a failure. It's really, really easy to change. You are in a startup conference, people say failure is good. But making very, very strong difference between failure, what I did, or failure, who I am, is really important. Nobody wants to feel that I'm a failure. That's even me painful. What I did was not the best idea. That's easier to accept. It's really important to make the difference. So, why I think it's important? Because back to 2008, the useless artist, the useless scientist, and the useless engineer, startupper decides to change how people share ideas. And we have to accept one thing. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. We don't know how to do this. We just really have the vision, right? And every day you have to accept that you are not good, you are not bad, but you try really hard. Nothing else. This helped us to have 1 million, 7 million, 18 million. On a startup conference, I always tell $1.5 million we raised. At the end, 70 or 57 million. Kind of the most in Europe still. I don't know. But we needed, we have to have this mindset to get there. Every second there is 3 new presentations created. We have the largest database on the earth of presentation, with this accent from Budapest in the middle of financial crisis, where the majority of the team is still Hungarian. People ask me, why are we in Budapest? Why are we still in Europe? If Budapest is Europe, it's kind of an ongoing debate nowadays. We had the standard setup, Budapest and San Francisco. I will tell you why. Now we have a Latin office and we have an office in Riga because Infogram joined us. And why? We went to the United States, just the journalist asked me in the morning. We went to the United States because we realized that US is the biggest homogeneous market. Sorry, Europe, but US is the biggest homogeneous market. without translation issues and credit card issues and VAT regulation issues. It's easier to have 10 million, 20 million users there. I always tell this story. When we changed, we were proud Europeans, so our pricing page were with euro sign. We changed, it was not the A/B test, we just changed the US dollar. Sales went up. Why? Europeans think that something coming from the America must be cool, or United States must be cool, and United States people thinking something coming from the Europe must be something complex, right? Silicon Valley is a really good school. We went there to learn a lot about scaling companies, 2009, 2010. Today, you don't have to go to Silicon Valley. You can learn a lot here on events like this. But why are we on Budapest? I call this the extra sense of purpose. Budapest Pride, I don't know who heard about that. In 2007, that was not a big celebration of inclusivity like in San Francisco. It was kind of the fight between right-wing people and very liberal people. Prezi was, our company was the first ever company which supported Budapest Pride as a company, because we realized that you spend more time in the office awake than at home. So how we approach people is really, really important. It's not just for startup conferences. So that was 2009, so many people, and that was last year. Last year, more than 850 companies joined We Are Open initiative, started by Google, Prezi, and a local Hungarian company. 850 companies joined the movement in 5 years. What I'm saying that if you believe that you can change because you have a growth mindset and your effort is what only matters, you can believe that even countries can change and even economies. Energizing Roma Ghettos. This is our favorite sport. Instead of having a heavy drinking event around Christmas, we decided to go to somewhere where people usually don't go, to the Roma Ghettos, and help a family to renovate their house. With a scaling and growing company, you get to the point when you need 2 families close to each other, and then we ended up working with a village, with a whole Roma Ghetto. This is a video from 2013. It's good, I can talk. So this was 4 years ago. Since then we go every year. And my point is that as a working business, you can have a big impact on your local environment. And I really believe that easier to hire in Europe. Here people, I experience, can be more loyal, we can build more meaningful relationship, easier to have an international team, and there is no visa problem, or there was no visa problem in European Union. We will see. And Budapest is cool. San Franciscoian people, who is here from San Francisco? They are really, really proud about this bar. This is the only open air bar in San Francisco, Zeitgeist, right? If you go there, they show you, oh, we have a cool bar, open air bar in San Francisco. And I always show them, yeah, we have bars in Hungary. This is bars in Hungary, and this is bars in Hungary, and this is one, and this is one. And so living in Europe, I believe, can be cool. So that's why we are in Budapest and San Francisco. What's my point? What we are saying at Prezi is better, never the best. Doesn't matter. Don't tell me that you are best in something. I really love companies saying I'm best in this one. Who cares? That's not a user-centric approach, right? That's a competitive-centric approach. You define your success based on the second one. Great, you can do that. But it's even better for me to define your success if you are better what you are doing today than tomorrow. For that, you need to have the mindset, better, never the best. If you have the mindset that you can learn and you are able to accept that you don't know and it's okay. My only message to you, it's okay. Be gentle to yourself. And it's okay to feel bad when you think that, oh, I should be here, but I'm just here. This is what's called the creative tension. It's okay to feel bad. So accept who you are, where you are, and believe you can be always better and never the best. Thank you.